G'day, Mick here, Z-Grills Australia. Tonight in the garage, playing around with my 700E, and I thought I might as well pull all the components out and actually show everybody how everything works. So a fan fits on the bottom of the box here. We've got this big hole, and that's sucking air in from the outside and feeding it into the fire pot. Now, we've got this box which sits over the top, which is a bit tricky to get on. Let me try and do it. So we've got the air feeding into this chamber here, and then feeding into the fire pot, and that's why we have these holes around the outside. So the air is coming from the outside of this box into the inside and feeding it into the fire pot. Fire pot, ignition rod or hot rod, slides into here, secured at the bottom with a small screw, extending out around about maybe say 1/4 inch or 7 or 8 millimeters, and that is responsible for igniting the pellet. So this will become hot, get actually red hot, over the first 4 or 5 minutes of operation, and then it'll turn off. So it's only running initially when you first go from shutdown cycle and turn to smoke. That will come on and get red hot. The auger motor, which has a small cooling fan on the end there, slides into the auger. There's a pin that goes through there, and obviously that all fits into the round tube here. And there's a sleeve, which we'll do in a sec, a sleeve actually which fits on the end like this, to have it sitting in there. Now, one of the key features of both the auger motor and the auger is a lot of movement here, and that's a functional design, because obviously as you're breaking through those pellets, there needs to be some movement to allow it to move forwards and backwards and wobble around a little bit. So that looseness in the auger motor and the auger sitting in here is quite normal. And of course, we have the controller, which is managing the operation of all these devices. So if we have a look at the back of the controller, we have our black and white, which is our power in, and our power cord over here. We have our purple and white, which is going to our ignition rod. We have our red and white, which is going to our auger motor, and we have our orange and white, which is going to our fan. And we have our small cable here, which may be a long cable if it's a 450A, some other units, or in this case, 700E has a plug, which is our temperature probe, which goes inside the grill, which is reading our temperature. Now, one thing to note with this temperature probe, it only reads the temperature in the tip here. The shaft is just a shaft. It's only the tip here that actually reads the temperature. It's a good idea to keep that clean to make sure you're getting a good temperature reading. The controller I have here is for Australia, so it's in degrees C, degrees Celsius. We have the 2 probes here for the food probes, button there to switch between those, and obviously our dial and our power switch, very straightforward. So I'm going to put these components together now in super fast speed. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to plug it into power carefully, but this is live power, so don't do this at home, please. I'm a trained professional. Alrighty, so whenever we turn this from shutdown cycle to smoke, the fan is going to run and the auger motor is going to run here for about 5 seconds and then turn off. The fan is going to continually run, and it's running at high speed at the moment, because what it wants to do is get air into the fire pot to get that fire ignited. The auger motor is going to come on and off and on and off to feed enough pellets into the fire pot to get that initial fire going. In terms of the operation of the grill, it's monitoring the temperature inside the grill here, which is where my hand is. You see the temperature going up there. So what it's going to do is it's going to monitor this temperature here, and if it's below the target, it's going to deliver more pellets every 2 minutes. If it's above the target, it's going to deliver less pellets. And when I say more or less pellets, it just means it runs the auger motor for a longer period, every 2 minutes, or a shorter period. Now we have everything assembled on the table, we can run it naked to see how it operates. I've already primed the tube in here with pellets, so we can see the auger start to push those through. I'll add more in, and we can actually run it until we get a fire in the fire pot. Turn to smoke. As you'll see, the auger motor only runs for a few seconds and then it turns off, which is perfectly normal. It's going to go through a cycle over the next 5 minutes of coming on and off to deliver a suitable number of pellets into the fire pot as it waits for the ignition rod to get red hot to ignite those pellets and to give us our fire in the fire pot. And we have fire. By turning the shutdown cycle, the fan is going to run for 10 minutes and allow all of those pellets to burn out into embers. Then it'll turn itself off. We've got this big round hole here. Be careful. That's scary.